Good afternoon. Today we are going to talk about reward charts. My name is Brooke Fremouw. I'm a certified trauma support specialist. I tend to work primarily with adopted families, helping to take that chaos, all the trauma wounds that come from our kiddos' lives prior to adoption, and they bring that trauma into the home and create a lack of stability within the home itself. So that's generally where you would find me in my professional world. However, I do work with all sorts of kids with disabilities, body regulation issues, and trauma, whether it's from divorces, abuse, neglect, whatever that may look like. So oftentimes I'm asked, do reward charts actually work? If somebody were to come to you experientially as a parent and say, do reward charts work? What would your answer be? I think that most parents would say no, they don't work. There are a lot of work to reinforce and to implement, and parents get tired. The other thing I would say is oftentimes kids are short-term motivated by them, but long-term end up not really caring. Or they care, but they give up on themselves because they find it too hard to stick with the reward chart in order to get the outcome that they want. Where if they just don't try, then they never can fail, and they don't have to deal with the lack of success and the feelings that come from not achieving what it is that they're aiming for. So they just throw their hands up. Parents throw their hands up. And at the end of the day, we end up with kiddos that are like, reward charts don't work. If you have read around the world of trauma-informed care, connected parenting, some of these other modalities that are out there and talked about when it comes to attachment parenting, yada, yada, oftentimes it'll say our kids have neurological differences. They have attachment differences. They have a realm of special need, and therefore reward charts are less successful and tend to actually bring about a lack of feeling successful in the house, which only furthers us from the end game. So the question becomes, should we use them? Is there benefit to using a reward chart in order to incentivize your children into a level of compliance? And I say yes. I say yes, if and only if, right? Did you guys know that the but was coming? I feel like you guys know me well enough now to know that there's a big ol' but. They have to be done correctly. They have to be attainable and achievable, and they need to have some direct pairing in it that keeps your kids motivated. Is it work for the parents? Yes. If we do our reward charts with both a short-term payoff, that immediate gratification, and a level of long-term payoff, so that when they're 80% there and they feel like quitting, they're incentivized to keep going, because it's not just the regular daily thing that they get for their levels of success. So it needs to be a twofold reward chart, short-term and long-term objectives and achievement payoff, right? We've got to be able to make sure that the things the kids are working for actually matter to them. And then lastly, the big mistake that people tend to make when implementing reward charts into their home is that they put a bunch of tasks on the reward chart. Tasks are something that parents love, right? We get so frustrated because at the end of the day, they don't want to do their chores. They don't want to do their hygiene. They don't want to have to sit down and do their homework. And so parents tend to put the actual tangible things onto reward charts in order that kids will be getting stuff done that we know leads to success as they get closer and closer to independence and needing to reach their highest potential. I get it. I've been there. I made the same mistakes. The reality is, guys, is that the things that our kids do, those tasks of compliance, are something that we can ask for. But if our kids don't even have the right body and head space to be able to think clearly, to be able to function in respectful, calm, peaceful ways in the home, then how can we put a weight of expectation on them and expect anything other than an explosion? Or expect them to actually stay long-term motivated by it. And so the things that we're measuring tend to be the wrong things. We need to measure their ability to show up and how they choose to show up. Because if your child's willing to show up with peace, calm, and an attitude of cooperation, then you're able to ask your child to do any activity, and they're going to have a willing and appropriate response to that ask. But if your child's entire body state is wrapped up in hurt, fear, manipulation, a need for control, then you can see that at the end of the day, we're treating actual symptoms instead of root causes. And that is never going to lead to a long-term sustainable outcome. And this is the main reason that people have fatigue around the concept of reward charts or token reward systems. At the end of the day, they're aiming for the wrong things and doing it in the wrong way. In Journey University, working with my families, we implement short-term, long-term payoffs. We implement measures around the right things, and we equip the parents with the tools in order that your kids can dig and find that body state. They can sit in the surrender of your parental authority and be at peace doing it. Where most trauma kids, they come into an environment and it is definitely, I need to be in control in order to know that I'm okay. And so letting my parents be in charge of me feels unsafe. I did that once before and look where it ended. I've never had one thing in my life that is stable and consistent and reliable other than myself. So there is one and only one thing that I trust, and that is me. Do you guys see? If that's the underlying messaging that your child has, then asking about homework or cleaning rooms, the end of the day, isn't the real issue. It is the symptom. Their lack of compliance and defiance around these things is a symptom. It's not the cause. I hope that this has given you some clarity around what you're doing with your reward charts, how you're implementing reward charts, and certainly if your family is upside down and backwards and your kiddos are fighting for authority at every turn, reach out, let me know. I might be able to get some systems in place in your home so that at the end of the day, you're measuring the right things and moving in the right direction, dealing with root causes rather than attacking the symptoms. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Please hit subscribe so that you don't miss any other helpful tools on how you can get the peace and the calm into your household. Thanks. Take care.